Welcome back to another episode of the Careful Boys, y'all. Hey, this might actually be difficult to answer, so I'm quite curious. But what do you feel like is the biggest gap between how your life looks online versus how it actually is day to day?
Dude,
Oh,
that's good.
But do we want to destroy the magic?
I guess that depends. That depends on what you actually feel is the difference. So, like for me, it's actually quite simple because I stopped posting. I usually, from a social media point of view, I used to post like every day. So like you always were thinking about some version of content, even if it was trying to be as authentic as possible, like lifestyle comment versus like dance content versus like JK social content versus collaborative stuff versus event based or whatever, right? But like, I don't know. I just kind of, once I started feeling that so long, maybe it's because we do it for like over a decade. Once I started feeling that too heavy, I just stopped. So I rarely post now. I went from posting every single day to I maybe post like once a month. So that's, in one sense, apologies to anybody who considers himself a fan, but in one sense, that's like a gap between like my real life and like quote unquote my social life. There was such a gap between when I was like a content creator influencer versus what I actually, or just a human, that when I like felt too much of a gap, instead of finding the halfway, it was like more mentally cool for me to just like chill out and then just post stuff that I think is going to help. It's important for work. So like, dance content, collaborative posts, a flyer I'm supposed to promote, whatever. Also because I just stopped feeling, and this is me, I also stopped feeling that social media was an accurate reflection of people, values, and your actual identity, and then we went through that whole era when it's like, you're either performative social media or like your problem if you're not saying certain things or blah, blah. And then I was like, this just doesn't make sense for my communication style or who I am as a human anymore. So I'm just going to use it for social media, work related, and check up on some homies that like do close friends reels. Yeah. That's where I'm at now.
That's cool. I think an easy way to, I guess in order to explain this, first you'd have to kind of see how people even think of you from the outside looking in. And I think like for me, I guess several years ago, I used to always post like car shit all the time because that's just what I enjoy. And then so like sometimes people would be like, oh, sorry, mister, I got all this money and I have all these cars and I have a garage of 5 cars. Wow, Mr. Moneyback. But then like nobody really, like car guys will know, but like regular people will just think it's money. But like
You could buy one new car with all those cars, with all those 5 cars.
Like my 79 Camaro I got for $2,000. My fucking van I got for $1,800. My fucking my Trans Am I got for $9,000. That's the most expensive car I had for a while. The DeLorean was only $15K. Like all that shit equates to like one family van. You know what I mean? But like to people that just don't really know the values or they're not familiar with it, they just think that I'm like flexing money. But it's like, dude, this stuff is like cheaper than probably your insurance premium.
Shit.
And I think that's one thing that does dispel it. It's like, part of like being into a hobby that, not everyone knows the monetary value of is it does look more expensive than it is. And it is expensive in the way that you're wasting money because you're putting, all this cash into like money pits that, my car will never sell for the value that I've put into it. But that's because I enjoy it. But also from social media perspective, it looks affluent to someone that wouldn't know. But
that's how I feel when I look at your post.
Yeah, but truly that shit's not worth, it's a bad investment and it's going down.
It makes you more rich because people know that's not an investment. It's just like, oh, you got money today. Yeah.
But they equate, so like, I guess like altogether, like they equate like one person's car. Really.
That's surprising. That is surprising because I like kind of know that. But then when you actually say that like your Camaro was like $2,000, that's crazy. That's actually insane.
But it's just so funny what people take from social media, right? Because it's like you're not presenting it in a way where it's like flashy. In my head, how I perceive it as is like Ryan is a car enthusiast. He likes cars.
It looked like it was $2,000. He makes it look like it's like $40,000.
No, but even if he was flexing, in my head, it's like this guy just loves cars. Some people just can't help.
It's like artistic.
Yeah, some people just can't help but to insert themselves or like it's a reflection on them for somehow.
That's hilarious is that like you look at every car I've ever owned, even all the newer stuff all together doesn't even match a normal semi truck. You know what I mean? Like that's the funny thing about semi trucks. Some of those things are like 120K on the road, yet no one looks at them like ooh ah. You know what I mean? Like those cost more than some Ferraris do, Lambos even, and then nobody cares. They just go look at that big ass shit in the way. But like when you look at things in monetary value, like yeah, semi trucks are killing all of us. Those are way more expensive.
Think about the gas prices. Oh, geez.
That's about it, really. I think I'm like you, though. I don't even post that much anymore. And if I do, it's just because I wanted to write something in the text. It's not even about the photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped posting a while ago, but I'm starting to post back again. But what's really cool, I think, is like the trust that we've built with our fan base for so long that we can just post anything and they're just like, yay, you're back. And I just think we have really fucking good
Yeah, you're back.
like JK fans are just the fans that we built over the years. I think it's a cool relationship. I feel like it's so different from when I see comments from my other creator friends, and like they have a weird relationship where they're like very demanding. You have to be this way. I want you to like create this, and then like yeah, and then I just feel like JK, the fan base is more like friends, as weird as that sounds, because like when I meet them and then like we'll go hang or like they don't feel awkward to be around. They're just like normal people. And like Hannah's like every single time I see like an Asian Chad stare at us, she's like, I feel like he's a fan of yours.
It's probably true.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah. So I don't think I have that same pressure though to be like, I need to fucking do something because my fans need me. Like other creators have that pressure of like, I gotta create, I gotta fucking do, you know, some magic right now. And I think they have a maybe more like, I just don't want an unhealthy relationship with the followers. I just think it's fucking weird. Yeah.
Especially how people like obsess over it, right? They worry so much about what they post and
Yeah, because I think there's also people, a lot of creators deal with not being authentic, or like they want to be authentic or who they are, who they've grown into, but they feel stuck, like they can't. And I know a lot of people that got famous when they were younger and their fans want them to stay innocent. They want them to stay pure or whatever. Whereas for me, I think like it's been the opposite, where the shit that they used to laugh about, they you know, people aren't cool with it like later. So it would be the opposite.
That is true. Yeah.
Where it's like, you guys laughed at all these jokes in 2018, but then something happened when, you know, COVID and the woke era. And then like a lot of people were like, well, I grew from that. I don't joke like that anymore, you know? Yeah.
You know what's funny about your social media is that like, cause I remember when I didn't know you at all, and I was like, who's this guy that like David and like Bart and them all know? And you look, I thought like, dude, this guy looks like he's like mean or like tough, but like, but your like real personality like rarely comes out in your social media.
That's true.
You know, like how he really, really is. You know,
he's
what I
like
mean?
a serious instructor.
Yeah. You seem more like, oh, dude, that guy's gonna fuck with me.
Really? Okay. Because in my head, when I was like, well, I don't even know what kind of videos, because I haven't made anything.
We see your page, it's all like
mid holding, yeah. It's just me holding pads for people.
Collabed with like casuals or something.
Yeah, unless it's something goofy.
Because your casual self, it actually has more of your humor in it. But back when it was all pics, like back in the day when I first looked, I was like, that guy's gonna kick my ass for nothing. You look intimidating. Yeah, that probably helps your business, but I actually thought he was like intimidating looking.
I thought people think the opposite. I know, and I just fuck around all the
I thought you were a bully, and I was like, no, this guy is the bullied.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Social media is weird for me because I'm at a spot where I'm like, I don't even know what to post. I don't even want to post. I just have no drive for social media, and that's a bad thing. It does where I'm like, I should post, but in my head I'm like, dude.
But you never were a social media guy to begin with. You just did it as a way to get work, right?
Yeah, it was at a time when I started it, like my buddy was like, look, if you're gonna hold mitts for people, you want to be a boxing coach or whatever, or a coach, you gotta just post videos of you training people. So it was just me training different people, training kids, training adults, and that's all I was showing. And then it kind of turned into like I don't know, a bunch of random shit that we do now. It's like a collection of stuff.
Social media guys where you fucking loved it.
Yeah, dude, he used to post fucking all the time. This guy
I feel like you guys are all
go like viral off of like little silly videos. It was tight.
I think I was more so. It wasn't the joy of doing it. I think I'm just addicted to like the feeling of growth and progress. So it could be in anything. But like when you get some momentum on social media, of course it's the human condition is to be addicted to that fucking dopamine, right? Like the idea of like when you got into that schedule, you know how it is, where you're like, now it's operationally, we're uploading something every single week and you know that there's interaction. The amount of people, even though social media is so like it's born into life nowadays versus when we were growing up with it. Nowadays, there's still people who hella try their entire existence to get noticed on something and still won't.
Yeah.
That's sad, dude.
Like have gotten the opportunity, but it's true, right? But like we at the very least have tasted that feeling that like we'll put something out and somebody will guaranteed watch it or react to it. And so like that was an addicting feeling when we were doing it at that time.
not big enough though. Is it never not big enough?
Well, I think
Because I always, even when we watch some videos like that we've had where like the Costco video on the JK channel, and you're like, bro, this shit is like only 35 mil. Should be 100. I was like, Mr. B's getting 100 mil, dude. What the-
I never cared about subscriber numbers and fame. Like as
It's all
I'm not
relative.
even trying
It's
to be like
relative.
humble
Yeah.
guy, but I remember our peers, they were so strategic. And then like they would, when they get like the 1 million subs, they would celebrate, they would do all this shit. And then for me and Bart, I feel like, I don't know, we're kind of bad when it comes to celebrating in events and milestones. But it's because maybe I'm always thinking about the next thing. Because if by the time I hit 900,000, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna hit 1 million. Like I'm not waiting for that moment. I'm gonna do it. So then what's the next thing? Is like, well, I don't even care about the number. Like I want to make this piece of content that I've been really working on, and I want to show somebody this. And if they can laugh about it and remember it, all right, now I'm gonna make the next one. So I didn't really like. I'm actually more. I like seeing the numbers, but then back then I don't think it went over my head, because it's the same thing with money.
Yeah.
Like it didn't matter to me. Like I was like, oh, I could eat food and then I can travel with my friends and do shows. Perfect. Like bills, oh fuck, I got a phone bill coming up. That's it though, right? Like, so I didn't think about like, oh, I need $100,000, $300,000, $500,000 in my account so I feel safe. Like I didn't have any of those thoughts in my head. And then now I know like the power though of volume. So like I would say my networking opportunities would have probably been better if I actually grew my thing, or if I took it more seriously and made it more polished and look better. And then like if I presented everything more professionally, I would have like been able to like charge more for brand deals or whatever, because it looks like more higher grade. So things like that I think about now, but like when I was like going, like I never cared about those things. And I wonder why. Like I don't know if it just changes with maturity, or like my values change, but I really don't know why. None of that stuff really mattered.
It probably just wasn't your style. Because you know how like nowadays people are really, really good at that. It's almost like that's the communication that they all run. Like they do subathons and they go, all right, gang, we're going to try to get up to 100,000. And like, that's almost the front seat of their whole creation process.
Like being famous is the goal, not like actually creating art.
But then it's also like, what it is like it's engaging because they're taking the viewer along for the ride. So it's not really like, hey, watch me get this. It's like, we did this together. It's like it's like almost like a different style of communication for some creators, but that feels more modern than it does like back when you guys started. That would have been really weird to do that back then. Yeah.
Well, I remember being embarrassed. I was embarrassed I was on YouTube. Like a lot of people were using YouTube as like a way to get noticed by Hollywood.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to be
right.
like, hey, I'm not getting any opportunities, but like, let me make some noise here to get some attention. Because I think Justin Bieber did that. Even Childish Gambino. Remember when he had his sketches and he was doing comedy?
Yep.
And then so a lot of people used it as a way to get
When
attention.
he was in Derek Comedy.
Derek Comedy, yeah, that's the one, yeah. So I think that's kind of maybe everyone's mind state at the time, or at least it was in my circle. And it was just like, yeah, let's. And then if they try to
I think
announce
that
me
was
as a
true.
YouTuber, I was like, nah, don't say that. Say comedian.
I think you're right. I
Yeah.
think people forget that at the time it was more like this was like the springboard.
Yeah.
Now it's like that's just another place to watch shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's sometimes superior.
Yeah, because also a lot of dork creators were top dogs on YouTube.
That's true. Yeah.
So like it was kind of not the cool thing
like,
to
don't
do.
put me in league with that.
Yeah,
dork.
yeah.
You don't want to be a dork creator, dude.
Dork creator.
You might as well just give up.